Shalom, shalom, brothers. Brother Kamal Mahar here, back at it again. First thing first, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahar, Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders on this true from. Blessings to Achaman preaching his word, with whole heart and sincerity. Blessed 144,000, one third entirely, the first fruits, kingdom of heaven. House of David that be after that would die. And shalom, brother, they're speaking different tongues and looking different nations. Shalom to you, brothers. So today, brothers, I wanted to land back off my me and my brother's last sit down yesterday. Right now I'm in a foreign country, so I'm about 24 hours ahead of brothers or so. So I'm not in America, but the show must go on. And the land back from my last video with brothers was the chastening of the Lord. It's very important. These type of videos that brothers might watch tends to be more of a cut too. Not a cut, but it's more of a self-reflection. To pretty much, stay on your job and reflect on how you are on a day-to-day. Speaking to myself as well, and all you other brothers that watch videos like this, it keeps you on your toes, your P's and Q's. Highly needed videos to reflect and make sure you're repenting and just kind of making sure you want to straight and narrow, which is also the scriptures as well. But it's going to be pretty much a quick hit, brothers. I got two precepts that I wanted to bring out for the most part. My one is the first one my brother Parathon put me on. It's 1 Corinthians 11 and 32. I can start at 31. It said, "For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged." That makes a lot of sense. That doesn't really need too much of a breakdown because, when you judging yourself and you reflecting, a lot of times the best word will be circumspect. Really kind of like watching what you're doing, what you're moving. And then, filter these things through the scriptures and just kind of just be aware of how you moving and I guess what you're saying and what you're moving and how things are going when you're making decisions on moving forward. So that way, when you're in a situation where you're pretty much doing what you're supposed to do, at that particular point, you're practically impossible to be judged by anything. If you're like not smoking at all, who can tell you to not to smoke? You know what I mean? If you know that a man has a wife or a girlfriend or so, and you know that and you stay away, who can say that you're committing adultery or who can say that you're in that particular realm? It's practically impossible to be judged in that case scenario because you're, doing the right thing. There's no way in the world you can be put in jail for something you didn't do. Now, we know in this corrupt system in Esau's kingdom that can go down, but like in a theoretical standpoint, on a regular standpoint, you didn't do the crime, you won't do any time. So you can't be judged at all. Here's the point though. But when we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord that we should not be condemned with the world. So whenever the Lord comes down on brothers, it could be in a lot of various ways. That brothers going through it. I mean, we going through it now, even just by being in Babylon in general, predominantly. I'm in the country right now where the Lord is definitely not here. My brother will always say that he's not. This country is definitely not a righteous situation on the whole. So you got to be really circumspect when you hear it too as well. But that's pretty much what I really wanted to get at because. As long as you on a straight and narrow, and you would say, Lord willing, the Lord chasten you. And another thing my brother was saying, there can be ways, I bring it out in Proverbs. You might not even be aware of the falseness of where you're moving. You might not be aware of it. So sometimes the Lord might have to smack you left or right to kind of put you back on a straight and narrow if that's the case, and you probably can't see it. The Lord knows, right? What's that? Proverbs 14:12. It says, there is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. And that can go many ways. That can go in some situations where, like, you can look at it from an idolatry standpoint. That there's a lot of so-called Christians who are Christian, or who deals with Christianity, Jehovah Witnesses, even the Muslim culture, that brothers really think they're doing the right thing, and they put a lot of passion into these religions and really think it's the right way. From Jesus to Allah to, praying in the middle of the streets to, garbing up, calling the Lord's name in different scenarios. Esau can be saved. The whole world is for this ministry. I mean, there's so many different idols that goes on, where a lot of concepts and traditions on why things will go the way they go. And in their mindset, the way they're moving, the Lord got it to where they're seriously believing it. And the path that they're on, worshiping these other gods, unless the Lord winked at them, you know what I mean? Like, because you got to think, like, what if it was like kind of how I started, or a lot of like-minded brothers, where we started off in different religions, not knowing who we are at first, and then got introduced to who we really are, and then gradually the Lord opened our minds and to get us to where we need to be on the right path. So then the Lord will wink at you. It was at Acts 17 and 30. So if that's the case, then great. But if it's on a situation where you're in different religions and you're worshiping different idols, but then again, the Lord, but the Lord has exposed to you what's going on, then there's no more sacrifice for your sins, where you pretty much was warned. And so the Lord will have you in a situation where you feel like, everything is right, but then again, it's the ways of death. So you want to pray for correction, and you want to actually pray that if the Lord chastises you, obviously, it's going to be a situation where you can recover really well, but you also aware of what's going on. Oh, all right, okay, cool. I see what's going on. Sometimes what's also good is examples. Sometimes brothers are not chastised, but they're reminded about things, where you can be chastising your mind to remind you of where you are and what you're not doing. Chastisement doesn't always have to be in a position where you're jacked up. It could be an eye opener, like, oh, okay, I must have forgot, or something that will trigger you to be like, I need to reflect and stop what I'm doing, or however it goes. The Lord can get you in certain ways where it gets you to understand. A lot of good times for me, brothers, be watching different videos, other brothers' videos, or it be my camp itself that I'm dealing with, that when I'm listening to camp and I'm also on camera teaching, sometimes it'd be a scenario where the things that we're teaching about is hitting me in the face, like, oh, okay, like I'm getting cut up now. Like, okay, this camp is made for brothers. Like, we're teaching about brothers and what to do, what not to do, and kind of lure them in the right path as far as who they are as Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Seminole Indians. And everything could be fine and dandy, but it could be parts of the camp of things that we're saying as far as correction and reflection can hit you too. Like, you know what, lately I kind of was moving like this and moving like that. So it's an eye opener on like, oh, okay, like I'm just talking to my own self a little bit. That's chastisement right there. That's allowing you to understand where you are so you can get opportunity to get it right. So, even with that one, brothers, and that can also be a scary thing too, because even though the Lord has injected you up in different ways where it can kind of be detrimental to you, but like 1 Corinthians 10 and 13 will go into where the Lord will put you through some things and also give you a way out. So let me go to I'm gonna end this off with Romans, or it could be Hebrews. All right, Romans 12, starting at 5. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasten, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, Yahweh dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. Right? So you can see that across the board. Sometimes there could be brothers that's in this truth. Well, not even in this truth, but they're Israelites, but they're not in the truth, and they seem to be prospering, selling drugs or whatever it is they're doing, and they seem to be prospering what they're doing. That can definitely be what that is, especially if they're not in the fold. They're not under the law, statute, commandments of the Lord. They don't know Yahweh, and they're just doing all this extra stuff and getting away with things. Well, cool. Then the Lord is not chastening them. But when you come into this truth, there's things you got to stop doing. There's things that you got to be mindful of. It is what it is. And if you find yourself in bad situations, then that's going to be a time to repent, and you got to try to move better on the next up and coming situation. Come across the scenario again, and then go ahead and forsake that and rebuke it. Like, for example, right about now, which one good thing that a lot of brothers that I follow and I'm with as well, we're in the Shabbat right now. We're in another country, so we have opportunities to go out and have fun. We can pretty much go and drink. We can parlay with some women or something or whatever. However you want to go about it, spend some money. Kind of just do what you want to do. But we chose to sacrifice one of our days on our trip because we are in the Shabbat, so it's better to stay in while all the things are happening out there. It's a good thing to do. You might want to take on that type of a behavior because that's going to keep you in good graces with the Lord. Put a lesson up or so, like I'm doing right now, just in general. But at the same time, though, even by the chastising of physical, sometimes the Lord can chastise by the mind too, and it can be something simple as a reminding of what's going on. And watching a brother's video or reading a precept or so will smack you in the face and be like, okay, yeah, let me go ahead and check that. Like that, I can see how I can relate to that. And if that's the case, that's the Lord dealing with you by allowing you to see it, and then you can keep it pushing forward. So I brought this out as edifying to you, brothers, Lord willing. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahara, Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles that others learned true from. Blessings to the Achamonder preaching his word with heart to sincerity. Blessed 144,000, 1/3 entirely. The first fruits, kingdom of heaven, house of David, that be after that would die. And shalom to brother, they're speaking different tongues and looking at different nations. Shalom, brothers.